Hello, I'm Harry Stratford, and today we will be interviewing Chris Stratford on his very interesting precious object. Let's see what he has. So first of all, I would like to know what this precious object of yours is and why it's so important to you.
My precious object is a painting of my grandfather from World War II when he was in a POW camp in Germany, and it was painted on his pillowcase. There's no paints involved, it's just vegetable oil, blood, anything they could find, mud and all sorts, painted by a guy from New Zealand who was an artist, and they made friends in the camp.
How old was he when he was in the war? And to compare, what were you doing at that age?
So Grandad was 19 when he joined the war. He was in Dunkirk. He was helping the British troops go back to England, and he was captured by the Germans. He was taken to POW camp, and he served nearly 5 years in north of France and Germany. At the age of 19, I was DJing in a club and partying and having good times, so it just shows what these men had to go through.
I mean, this painting is truly amazing. Do you think if you hadn't received this painting, you would have had a lesser memory of him?
Not at all. I don't think it would have a lesser memory of him. He was a hero in my eyes. He was 19 years old, putting up with things that a 19-year-old shouldn't have to. I just think it immortalizes who he was.
Do you mind if I have a look?
No, of course, yeah.
Thank you very much. Wow. Okay. Very good. So, do you have any interesting facts about this?
Obviously, I told you about him being in Dunkirk and getting captured. The guy, 19 years old, 21, he met a guy from New Zealand who was an artist, and they painted that on his pillowcase. My mum has the original. There's my mum. She has the original in her house, and that's just a print of it. And he was basically, he told the Germans that he was a tailor. He'd been briefed before that he'd worked in in Burton's in Ashford. And the reason he did that, he gave him need to do some work when he was in the POW camp. When some of the officers got injured, the German officers, because he was a tailor, they actually used him as a surgeon as well, even though he had no sort of nurse skills or surgeon skills. He got the nickname Schneider, which rhymes with spider, a tailor in German. Years later, in the 60s, when my granddad was transported cattle through Poland, they went in and stopped in a barn to get some refreshments, and there was a Polish guy in there who recognized my granddad, who was in the same camp, 25 years later, and he said Schneider, and my granddad was like, yeah, and he remembered the Polish guy, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, that painting was made from potato peelings, prunes, blood, and mud and everything like that. So there's no paint on that at all. So it's something very close to my heart, and it's a good keepsake. And yeah, my most precious item.
Where in the house do you keep this object? I mean, it must be pretty special to you, so where do you keep it?
This is on the wall next to my front door. And the reason it's there, I know this is going to sound weird, but I kind of salute it every time I go out the house as respect to my hero. He is my hero and always will be. And that's where I keep it, yeah.
Thanks very much.